Welcome, welcome, welcome to Garnetqueentarot, Libras. How are you guys doing? Hope all is well. Oh, I miss you guys. I've been down for a minute. Oh, life, man. My brother passed away on the 16th, and it's like I've been in a daze somewhat. I have four brothers. Well, I had four brothers. I have three brothers now. And it's like it makes you get so in tune with your feelings, your authentic self, and who you are. And that's what I want to make sure to bring to others, because between the funeral, which was this past Friday, between everything going on and people with personal readings and things, it was like, I don't know, I felt so more in tuned with the spirits. It's like you zone out and you block yourself off from so much. It's so surreal. I bumped into a lot of Geminis. Oh my goodness, Geminis, Leos, Capricorns, a couple of Libras, but it was just so many different feelings from so many different people. And I was in New York. So it's like, oh my gosh. Let me tell you something. You have to know what you want in this life, and you have to go after it, because storms will come whether you're ready for it or not. So you got to be prepared. And you've gone through so much of the process already to come as far as you have. You got to open your mind, open your heart, dig deep down inside, and listen to yourself. What are the thoughts running through your mind, your body, your soul? Where's it coming from? A lot of times people don't even know who they are. You got to know who you are. You can't just live on a limb and just hope, well, it may work out, it may not. You got to plan things so they can manifest in your life, where that feeling materializes and you control the outcome. Do you know how much power you really possess? Spirits, speak to us on behalf of our wonderful Libras. Help them to unveil messages that are meant for them. Help them to see transparency through all that comes their way, without giving up and believing in themselves, knowing that this too shall pass. They will get through. They are not alone. That's what it's all about. It's living. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. I don't care who you are. You could be the richest, you could be the brokest. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So you have to live your life with purpose today, on purpose, and figure out what it is you really want and who's for you. Who is for you? That's a big, major question. Who is for you? And who belongs in your life? You got to clean house just like you do spring cleaning. You got to do your home life cleaning. You got your soul cleaning. You got your friend relationships, everything to be cleansed, so you can continue to elevate and hear messages that are meant solely for you. Sometimes you may even see things other people don't see. You gain that clarity, and you have to acknowledge it, because that is part of your growth plan, your growth chart, your elevation. Oracle, wait for important information. Wait for important information. Information is coming to you. And it is only revealed when you are in tune with who you are supposed to be. If you don't elevate to that level, you won't see the messages meant for you. Do you know what it is to manifest? Do you know what it is to take a time out and get in tune with yourself? So much would be revealed to you when you take that time out and do the work that's necessary to uncover messages that have been hidden from you. But you always had that inclination. You knew something was up. You just couldn't pinpoint exactly what. You could determine your outcome by that vibe, by riding that wave, by being self-determined to achieving certain things, by listening. There's some people, I used to tell my husband this all the time. I'd say to him, I said, listen, you're ready to argue with me over something, but I'm telling you, you don't listen to what I'm saying because you hear what you want to hear. You don't hear what is really being said, and that would drive me crazy. That would just drive me crazy. You're so busy to answer me before you even know what is being said. Why? 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 Before you even know what is being said, you're ready to rush in and give me your aspect of your opinion, your point of view, not even realizing that that's not what I was asking you. That's not what I was saying. That's not the answer to the question. Don't listen to respond. Listen to hear. People get caught up with that a lot. And Libras, you the same way. Sometimes you hear things and it's not really what you didn't let the whole statement be completed with the period at the end. Let that period exist first, then come in. You know? Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Track down your fears and your desires. Track them down. Figure out what they are, what they represent, and how they will affect you. You know, it's different when they tell you to ride that wave on that surfboard and you're riding the wave. You're picking up so many different vibrations. You're more in this serene and positive realm where only you are hearing those waves and what they're saying to you. Sometimes you might say things to yourself to help motivate you and get you on track. Libra, you know you got this. Just ride out the wave. Take life by storm. Don't get knocked down by one. Protect yourself. Be ready for anything that comes your way. Manifest and listen to your true feelings. What is it that you're seeking? You could determine your outcome. So many things come at you and so many things are missed when you don't align up with yourself. I love to read and learn new things all the time. And so many things that I thought I knew, I did not know. Just as you, Libra, you love advancement. You love learning and moving forward. So you don't take things at face value. But you miss certain messages because you may be wanting to respond real quick about something, but you didn't hear the full message. Take the time out to listen to important things in your life. See the important messages that are being bestowed upon you and take action for a positive outcome at that time. But you can't just be ready to run off. You really got to get in tune with yourself. Learn to love yourself, and self-care is so important. And no matter who comes at you incorrectly, if you're prepared, there's nothing they could do to you. Nothing. Animal guardian, trust your... Didn't I just say this? Trust your instincts. You know, like an animal in the wild, and they listen for sounds. You listen with your ears so you could hear all. There's sometimes people will say things to you, and you may not pick up on what they really said. And then when you think about it, you be like, oh, dang, I know they did not say that to me. There are hidden messages that you can pick up on and learn from in advance by just what people say. And you could decipher the message. This will determine who's for you and who's against you, just by the little slick things people say. And you are starting to get more aligned with yourself, and you react accordingly. but you hold a power for your future by what you take in, what you speak, what you say, what you reveal. So when you get in tune, you absorb that information that's meant for you. And it's up to you to decipher it now and figure out, am I on the right track? Am I going in the right direction? And when you listen to things that are said, have you ever caught somebody trying to be slick and say something like, I was real close to my dad, and it's 7 of us plus 2 other children, and it's like with my dad, him and I were the closest, not realizing that caused a lot of jealousy within the family. So I remember, I love to sing, so I was singing a birthday song for my dad, and my brother, one of my brothers, I said in the song, "What would I do without you?" And I'm singing, but I heard his slick comment, and he said, "Ain't that the truth?" Now, he didn't say it loud enough for everybody to hear, but loud enough and close enough that I picked up on that vibe while I was singing. And that's a hater, man. That's a hater. I can't help how my father feel about me. I'm a loving person. I'm a loving person. I was a blessing to him. So what I'm saying to you is, a lot of times you may not even realize that people carry animosity, hatred, hating on, all these things for you. But if you're not in tune and pick up on things, you won't always hear the messages that are left for you. Now, how could I be singing and still hear the comments? That's when you get in tune with who you are. And you could pick up on vibes and little comments along the way, slick comments. Not every comment deserves a response. You understand me? And that's what irks people a lot about me, because you could say a lot of stuff about me. Unless you push that button, and it does exist, I won't set it off unless I feel like it. Sometimes you'll get a message and you say, you know what? They're hurting because they want to dim my light and they can't. So why do I need to argue with that person? When people come at you inappropriately, incorrectly, as long as they don't put their hands on you, call you too much out of your name, you can let it go, because you realize that's some kind of anger issue that they have that they need to work through. Why do I need to upset myself? Because they already upset for both of us. Trust your instincts. When you pick up on certain vibes, go with the flow. Weigh it out and figure out how you can kind of manipulate it to your benefit. Stay calm and grow. And when those same people see you elevating, they can stay there with their slick comments, because you're not taking it on. Because of you staying calm yourself, you didn't let them upset you, and you continued with your growth chart, your growth pattern, and they still back there talking mess. You ain't got time for it. I tell that to my kids all the time. You gotta let things go. Not everything do you need to hold on to. Okay? Peace. Look at that. Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. Oh my gosh. Libra. Libra. Are we not here? Are we not here? Okay? Let go of the need to be right. That's what I'm saying. I could have gone and argued with my brother. I don't know what you talking about. You just a hater. You just jealous. I'm singing a song to my father for his birthday, and you over here talking to, for what? What would be the outcome? What would be the resolution? This is my father's birthday party. It could turn into a big argument. It will take away the joy my father was feeling at that moment. It would ruin everything, because I know between the two of us, my brother and I, we'd go at it. And then they'll turn it back. You so sensitive. You so this. You're singing a song and you're going to let him upset you. And it'll be a back and forth. Then my mother's like, she always has a quick temper. She's always upset. Not what he did. but how I reacted. When you know your outcome, which will be revealed to you when you're going through the process, you know you're aiming for something, don't let people distract you. That's the enemy trying to tear you down while you're climbing up. Be a peacekeeper. Keep that sense of relevance of peace, sincerity, love. Embrace it. Serenity, serenity, serenity. Don't let other people make you come out of your shell to tear you down. They want an opening so they could get in and take you out of character. You can't allow them to win. That's where the breathing exercises come in that I always push, because I know it works. I use it. That breathing technique, when I'm feeling anxiety or rush or people are pushing my buttons, the goal is to pick up the important information that you grasp and grab and hold on to along the way that you come across. Okay? It's for you to be able to track down your fears and desires, knowing what it is you want, not what other people want. You don't care. You're focused on you right now. You always have time to go and deal with other people and their issues. Trust your instincts. Let it resonate with you who you are and what it is you want. What do you want? Libra, what do you want? Do you know? What do you want? And when people see you, as I always say, when people see you on the right track, heading to achieve your goals, your dreams, in the format that you have chosen, they hate on you because the light is shining too bright on you and they want to dim it. Don't allow them to be in charge of that switch. It's not up to them how bright you shine. It's up to you. Your ancestors are letting you know. Get into that mindful spirit where you focus on developing your skills through the process by living and learning and not responding to appease the ill ways of others, the inappropriate actions of others. Stay aligned and stay in tune with who you are. Build from that point on. I'm not saying life is always going to be, roses and bushes with roses on them and just smelling great and everybody's just loving each other. That's what we wish for. But in reality, we realize that that may not always come upon our path. We may have moments of it, but to keep it going and growing, we have to be more in tune with ourselves, feel our way through, and listen to what people say. Sometimes people have slick comments. Is it going to set you off? Who gives a darn? Who gives a darn? I've seen like one of my sisters, when she's the kind that picks up things slowly. And she's like a Cancer. She will hold on to things. And a week or two later, when she's to the boiling point, you didn't have to say anything else. She's still pissed about what happened 2 weeks ago. And she will let it trigger her because she doesn't have the responses right away. Growing up, I used to be that type of person that, you say something wrong to me, I'm cussing you out right then and there. Boom! In your face until it breaks you down. Don't come at me wrong. But as time has gone on and I've matured, I've learned that every comment does not deserve a response. Because I'll be cussing out people all day long. People say some shiggity stuff to you. But you know what? You control the response. You control the outcome. You don't allow other people to put you in a space where they're pulling the reins on your life or dictating the next steps you take. You hold the power, Libra. Don't let people make you feel less than. Keep the peace in your life because they can't stand it. You understand me? They can't stand you at your best, at your peace zone. They figure out. Libra used to respond quickly and say this and say that. Not anymore. Libra is choosing how they react in what situations so they could determine the outcome. That's when you have your power. Take your power and run with it. Don't let people decide how much power you hold. You decide that. You have a conversation with the angels. You have a conversation with the spirit. You have a conversation with your source. But you don't let people take you out of character. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know? And last thing, why I feel it's so important. Let me give you an example. My son, my first son, has always been a play by the book type dude. You know, he hears things and he lets it go out one ear unless it really pisses him off. Okay. And I remember he called me and he said, Mom, could you come to the school, please? And I said, what happened? He said, I was in the class and the teacher kicked me out of the class and I'm now in the principal's office. I said, what happened? He said that the teacher, there was, I guess, a group he was in, they had to make water balloons in the science class. And he said they made the balloons, but one of the guys in the group, and he was the only one in the group, and one of the guys threw the balloon and hit the wall, and they all started laughing. So the teacher was upset, of course, and then she said, because my son laughed, out of all of the guys in the group, since he was the only, she told him to get out the class. And he said, why? Don't question me. Get out of my class. And she made a big fuss, and everybody was looking because he didn't even do anything. Everybody laughed. Why was he chosen? So he said, Mom, no matter what I do, this teacher picks on me. I didn't say anything to you because I figured it was, it would stop eventually, but it hasn't. And now I was the only one asked to leave the classroom. And I didn't even do anything but laugh like everybody else. So he was sent to the dean and everything. And I called the school and they said, can we set up an appointment with you? Your son is being suspended. And, you'd have to go before the principal and he's not here right now. So I said, okay. So when I picked up my son from school and he told me everything in detail, I made sure that next morning at 9:30 a.m., I was at the school as suggested. And let me tell you something. They had the dean, two deans, the principal, and some other person or like a security or something like that. And I came to the school and, dressed to the T and very professional because the mother in me wanted to cuss everybody out. But the professional in me said no, because that's what they're expecting. That's why they have this lineup of people just in case you lose or break your cool. So I told my son to stay home and I went to the school. I was at the school. So I went into the principal's office and he had my son's file and record and everything like that. They were trying to see if my son was a troubled kid, if he acted out or different things like that. He had nothing bad in his report, nothing. They were pulling at straws and then they were like, well, it seems like your son is a good kid and, he hasn't been in any trouble before and, blah, 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 and going on. And I said, well, my son was very upset. And I said, where's the teacher that threw him out of the classroom? She's on her way. I said, okay. Because I said, the one thing I don't like is to know that I bring my child to school and he's being mistreated by a teacher. That is unacceptable on every level whatsoever. I said, I want to know why he was thrown out of the class. So then the teacher came in and I said, oh, this is the teacher. I said, well, Mrs. So-and-so. I said, I'd like to know, why did my son get thrown out of class? She said he was being disruptive and he laughed and everything. And, there was a water balloon that was thrown. I said, who threw the balloon? And she said, I'm not really sure. I said, so what happened after the balloon was thrown? She said, everybody was, she said, your son was laughing and I asked him to stop and he was laughing. I said, wow, was he the only kid in the class laughing? She hesitated for a moment and she said, no. I said, when I told him to stop laughing, he still laughed and he was the only one that was trying to stop himself from laughing? No, but when I said stop laughing and I saw him laughing, I figured he needed to leave the class. I said, how many incidents have there been with my son? She said, not so much incidents, just I disciplined him on certain things that, when he's in a group. I said, so the actual child that threw the balloon, what happened to them? Did they get suspended? She said, I didn't know who threw the balloon. But out of all of the kids in the classroom, you suspend my child. Do you see a balance there? So the principal said for me to call my son, since he wasn't there. He's not in school. He was suspended. And I said, my child has never been suspended in his life. Okay? Never. He's 14 years old. He has never been suspended. We've moved from another state, come here, and all of a sudden, here in Florida, he's suspended. And the principal is looking through the file profusely and trying to find the answer. It came down to it that my son, he said, the principal asked him questions, and he said, sir, very respectful. He said, sir, I did not throw the balloon. Everybody in the class was laughing. I'm human, I laughed too, but I was the only one that was picked out of the group. Nobody else. Nobody else. It ended up that the principal apologized to him and told me there would be no record on him for suspension. The teacher apologized, and she said it was just frustrating that day, and everybody was laughing. But my question is, what made her pull him out of the whole group? What I'm saying to you is, how you carry yourself is very important. Had I come in there angrily with the attitude, being who I am, they would have attacked accordingly, and they were prepared, whether it's to call the cops or whatever, because that was what it was expected from people like me. And my son, they grabbed the file to see if they could find anything bad about him, and they could not. And they didn't want to be the ones adding suspension or anything negative to his record, because they didn't know what I would do, because I was so professional. So the principal said he could return to school tomorrow, and they apologized for the incident. And everybody started dispersing, but the principal and the teacher stayed in, and he just said, I want to thank you, Miss So-and-so, because you were very professional, and a lot of parents come up here and they have attitudes. He mean a lot of those parents come in there, have attitudes and stuff and attack, and I just want to thank you for your professionalism. I said, I want to thank you for handling the situation and making sure that there's nothing in my son's file to state otherwise. And he told my son that he could come back. And my son said, okay. I said, I'll see you when I get home. And that was the end of that. How you attack people, how you come at people, how you speak will determine how you proceed. And there are times you have to hold yourself back no matter how angry you are. And when I tell you, Libra, I was pissed the shiggity off. I wanted to tear up shiggity in that office. And I see all these faces looking at me because they were waiting for that moment. They never expected. And you know what the principal had to say? You sound like a very educated woman. Why? Because you didn't expect that from me? Do not allow people to dictate your steps or to push your buttons. Be the peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. I was right, but how you handle the situation determines on your outcome. And you know when people push you to get you to explode. Step back, breathe. You know what I do? Inhale, exhale twice. It'll change everything in your life. Stay true to you. Libras, you got this. Control your emotions and continue to trust your instincts and react accordingly, but in a professional way. Okay? That's for you. Stay true to you and not let no one make you come out of who you are. come out of character. Don't allow it. You hold the power. You control that. Garnet Queen Tarot, where we are inspired to rise. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for sharing your message with us. Thank you for sharing your message with me. You hold the power, Libra. You hold the power. Believe that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks again for coming through. Take care, guys.